Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our online workshop on Excel, brought to you by Wayspire EdTech Private Limited in collaboration with One Digital Stack. I am Gungun, and I will be your host today. So we are here to have you here dive into the world of data analytics, whether you are a student, a professional, or someone curious about data. The session is designed to add a value to your journey about the data analytics. So we are introducing our mentors and One Digital Stack. So let me meet our mentors for today's session is Mr. Vishuendra sir, head of our product, and Mr. Vishak sir, data manager analytics from a One Digital Stack, a leading tech company specializing in data-driven solution with a team of over 200 professionals. They work with clients globally, turning data into actionable insights. So there is a real world experience, make them the perfect guidance for our sessions today. So now we are also providing you a participation certificate. So in the workshop, we are providing you a attendance form. So kindly be active on the meeting or workshop. Okay. And if you miss this attendance, I won't be able to provide a certificate. So please kindly be active. So now I'm handing a workshop to our mentors, Mr. Vishwendra sir.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining, and thank you Gungun for wonderful introduction. Okay, so let's start. So how we have structured this session is like I'll just quickly brief you about my journey in data analytics and how Excel helped me excel there, and how and why are we here, and then we will start with the our session. Vishak will take forward from there, and towards the end we have planned a working uh, dashboard developing session. Like we'll have 30 minutes quick dashboard session. So we have already shared data set with you. Maybe you can follow along and you can build your first dashboard with Excel. And and if time permits, I have bonus uh, trick that I will show you that we can directly scrape data using Excel and how we can do a basic forecasting using Excel, right? So don't worry, I won't take much of your time, and I will try will try to make it more interactive and fruitful for you, right? So I'll just quickly brief you about me. So hey, I'm Vishwendra. Uh, I have done my BTech from NSIT, and post that I joined WNS. I worked there as a data analyst for 2.5 years, and post that I happened and I was lucky enough to get into a founding team of a very new startup called One Digital Stack.ai. I joined there in 2020, and now currently I'm heading product at One Digital Stack.ai. Okay. So my journey with analytics started in 2016 when I was in second year of my engineering. So I just got some interest to learn machine learning, AI. I did a course on Coursera called there was a course from N to NG. I got like there was I got pretty interested in that. I did few more courses after that. I learned Python, SQL, AI, right? And in my fourth year, I got the opportunity to I got placed in WNS, and after that, when I joined WNS, the real journey in analytics started. So what I used to think about analytics just changed. It just changed. Everything changed for me, right? Once I joined WNS, there was a crash course that they made us go through. It was 1 month starter Excel course. So there was a classroom training that they gave us, and it just blew my mind. I used to think Excel is a very basic tool just for calculation and spreadsheet building and less data entry and all, right? But let me tell you, Excel is very advanced. I don't think I think most of you might not have just like used 1% of Excel's capabilities, right? So uh, after I learned Excel, and I we in WNS we used to do pharma consulting. So we had big pharmaceutical clients. We used to develop dashboards on Excel VBA, and we used to do forecasting and all, right? So after brief 2.5 years with WNS, I decided to part my ways and joined a startup called OneDigitalStack.ai. There, the industry changed. So now I was doing e-commerce analytics. like switched from healthcare analytics to e-commerce analytics, right? So the transition was very seamless for me because I knew Excel, and the kind of analytics that we were doing in e-commerce was very similar to what we did in pharma, right? So the I would say because I knew Excel, I could easily switch my careers. I could easily switch my right vertical. So and fast forward to 5 years, we when I joined One Digital Site.ai, we were a team of 5 analysts. Now we have a team more than 150 analysts there, right? And let me tell you, the journey was not easy, and one of the core problem that we faced was hiring the right talent, right? So like it's not easy to find people who are skilled in Excel, Power BI, SQL, right? So I would say uh, so like it's a nightmare for any company for like in hiring. Like, so people say job market is bad. People are not able to find jobs. I would say on the other side, we I don't think right talent is there in the market. So for each position of analyst and business analyst, we end up doing more than 50 interviews. This is a regular process that keeps on happening in our office. So we have five, six, seven, six, five, six interviews scheduled every day, and like it's a nightmare for every one of us. So from start in One Digital Stack, what we did, we used to hire interns and freshers, and we used to give 1 month of training of Excel and Power BI. That was in-house training, right? So and it is not easy for a startup like us who is in a growth phase, and it cannot afford to block his employees for 1 month and to have one of the core employees to go and do the training, right? It's very time consuming and very irritating. So that's where it strike my mind. So I was talking to Vishal Bhati, the founder of Wayspire. I was discussing with him that like we are facing a really big challenge hiring the right talent. So he told me like he just suggested me, why don't you just help my students to get into this field and just show them the power of data and just show them how Excel can help them transform their journey into data analytics, right? So why are we here? So we are here to help you kickstart your journey in analytics using Excel, MS Excel, right? So we'll start with the training just in 2 minutes. And how we have planned this session is like just we'll have a quick, I think 30-40 minutes of training with basic Excel functions. Uh, we'll have we'll show you charts, dashboarding, right? After that, we'll do a live session with you on dashboarding. So you'll after once the session ends, you will walk away with a live dashboard that you developed with us. We have already shared data set with you. I hope everyone is ready with the data and is everyone has MS Excel installed in their laptops. Okay. And post that, once this dashboarding session is over, and if time permits, I'll show you few of tips and tricks that we can use in Excel, and I'll show you how you can directly connect, how you can directly scrape data from internet, and you can do a basic forecasting in 2 minutes, right? So over to you, Vishak. Maybe we can start the session.
Hey, hi everyone. Good afternoon. So I'm really excited to be here, and thank you, Wayspire, for organizing this. And first of all, my first question to everyone, as always, is how many of you still think that Excel is a tool used for a data entry job? Excel is a tool which is used where people are manually just entering data. A show of hand would be perfect. Right? It's still a big myth that Excel is only being used for your data entry job. But to give you a little bit of idea, there are around 750 million users globally who are using this tool. There's a VBA, a coding can be performed within Excel at the backend to automate uh, uh, any of your Excel actions. Even today, so Excel was launched in 1985, right? It's been 40 years now. And still today, the demand for the skill of MS Excel is 85%. See, at the end, you have to understand that people who started working 40 years ago, are still in the market. Even people who are working for 20 years are at leadership positions. And one thing that we, as managing clients, as service providers to the client, we get as a very basic requirement is that I want my data or any analysis or any insights in form of Excel. I want to view my charts, my dashboards, my reports, my even a small set of data in Excel. This is the first requirement by the client. So having to hire a person who is already good in Excel is really, really important for us. And by organizing this virtual session, it is a way forward to how we can start training people in Excel and going forward, identifying who's good and hiring them as One Digital Stack is a hiring partner with Wayspire, directly hiring them as well. Right? So let's start with the session. If someone, randomly asks you what is Microsoft Excel, your first question should be, it's just a powerful spreadsheet program, right? Now, if we talk about the Excel interface, Excel has a very simple interface. I would like every one of you to just open MS Excel, right? And this particular file is known as a workbook. An Excel file is basically a workbook, right? This is the main layout where in the navigation bar you have multiple navigators like home page, insert, page layout. We'll go through them one by one. On the home page itself, you can, choose the formatting, the alignment, the format of the data set, then there are multiple other functions as well. If we talk about these cells, right, in the columns, you can see there are alphabets, right? And in rows, there are numbers. So if we talk about the number of rows in a particular sheet, now when I say sheet, in a workbook, you can add multiple worksheets. These sheet number one, sheet two, sheet three, these are worksheets within this particular workbook, right? To rename any worksheet, you can right click on it and choose rename, or you can simply double click and name the worksheet, right? Now, Excel to identify a particular cell. For example, Excel is a combination of intersections of row and columns. So when I say that I want to enter, let's say this is our meeting, and I want to create a simple who is present, who is not present, and then with the data, I want to analyze how many of the candidates were attending the session completely, how many of them left in between, and how many of them, some basic data examples. So by entering the data, let's suppose I want to enter the serial number, I want to enter name. Now, we'll be moving to formulas as well shortly. Just bear with me, right? And there's around, so let's suppose there's A, B, and C. When I say that I have entered serial number 3, what is the address of the cell? This. On your top left is the address of a particular cell, which is your intersection of column and row. So in A4 cell, I have entered a value that is of 3, right? This is the very basic, very, very basic, just how we enter data in Excel. What is a cell? What does an address identify as? Address is your intersection of row and column, what is your worksheets, and what is your workbook. We just covered 5 topics on Excel right now, right? Now, how many of you have seen Royals on Netflix? Ye to I guess latest hai, everyone must have seen it, right? Now, you'll see that the CEO of Work Potato is using Excel, Microsoft Excel as a calculator, right? Now, just coming to the topic that Excel is not your calculator, though it helps you manage all your expenses. Even today, I manage my day-to-day expenses, my portfolio, my all my investments using Excel, but not entering the data manually by 1 plus 2 plus 3 and talking in the show, right? So coming to the formulas, which are these five formulas, that is your sum, average, count, max, min, are your lifesaver. So being a BA, if you are aspiring to become a data analyst, a business analyst, Excel is your BAB. It's your bread and butter, and it's a very, very important skill to have. And the first thing that we as recruiters see on a CV is what is your knowledge on Excel. Right. Now we'll start with some of the, so most of you have received this particular, all of you must have received this data that was shared on via email, right? Let's just take this particular data set itself, and let's talk about some very basic functions. Now, let's suppose that uh, there's a person A and person B, and they have spent uh, $200 and $550. I just want to do a total. How to write a formula in Excel is simply in any cell. Just write equal to, and then whatever formula that you want to write, you can simply use it. For example, sum. We want a sum of total spends done by A and B. So I'll write sum. This is your formula. This is your formula bar, where whatever formula you'll write over here will be visible in the formula bar itself as well. So once I write my function right now, sum, which is basically I need to add anything uh, which I pass as input in this function, I'll start with equal to, write my function name that is sum, and then start my bracket. So I have two options. Either I can pass a complete range or single two addresses. So for example, now I want to add 200 and 550, right? As you can see over here, there are two addresses that get got added over here. That is M3 and M4. As we just as I just told 5 minutes ago, that address is basically whatever value is present in M3 and M4 will get added over here, right? So let's suppose you have a data wherein you need to add two different values, two or more different values. Let's suppose it is we have five values and we want to. Right. So we just want to we just want to add multiple values. We want a total of, let's say, A and B, and we want a total for C and D, and then I want a overall total. So now to write a function in your cell, that is, your cell is N13, write equal to, then start with your function. Now, right now, my function that I'm using is sum function. I'll write sum, start the bracket. I'll enter the cell numbers that I want to add. Now, I want total for A and B. I'll just add M3, comma, M4. And then I'll close my brackets and press enter. To find the reference of these cells, you can click on the formula bar, and all the values that you are using, all the inputs that you have provided will get highlighted in different colors. I'll repeat it once more. Again, you'll write sum. Now I want to add C, comma D, so I can add M5 and M6. Now I want a overall total. Right. So then what I can do is I can pass a complete range. If there's no gap in between, I can pass a complete range that is from M5 till M7, and then I can get a sum of the complete range.
Also, how we can pass cells independently, and also how we can pass the range as a whole. So both things.
Right. One more function that I like to cover is average. Let's suppose that this is the value of daily spends, right? And now I want what is the average sellout, what is the average spends for A and B. So now I'll write equal to average, and then whatever values I want to pass, that is A, comma B, and then I'll close the brackets. The average comes out to be 375, right? You can verify the formula as well. What is the formula of average? Is A, your value 1 plus value 2 divided by the total number of values. So divided by 2. 375, 375, both of them are true, right? It's a match. Now I'm still not trusting my eyes that 375 is equal to 375. I can again write a formula to check it. Is 375 equal to 375? Right? Data being shared to the clients is thoroughly QC'd. Cleaning of data, organization of data, calculations being performed, even logics being created is your very first step when we talk about Excel. Then comes your advanced Excel, where you will be using advanced formulas along with visual representation of whatever insights that you are creating, and then creating a dynamic dashboard and sharing it with the yeah, with your clients, with your executives, and so on. Right now, some of
Vishak, can you
the
please go back to Vishak, sorry, can you please go back to that sheet?
yes,
Can you pass a range for average? Just to do the average. Just wanted to cover some
sure.
a small
Again,
point there.
yeah, sure. So again, I want an average wherein I want the average of the all 5 cells, so I can pass a complete range over here as well, right? So you can either enter single values at a time, as well as you can pass a complete range as well. Similarly to what
So
we did for sum.
yeah.
Hmm, yeah, yeah,
Now my question
please
here
go ahead.
is, if I end up deleting the value for C, that is 178,
Yes, so if you'll delete the value for C, your numbers will get updated dynamically.
right? Please delete that. Also,
If you
now the
enter,
average
if you
is,
want to,
yeah, sorry. Now your average is
yeah,
229, right? But delete करना वापस से, विशाल. Right.
sure.
Now the if you see average for 200, 500, 66, and 102 is 229. Can you click on that formula 229? Click on the cell just to highlight the cell selected. So now you can see the range selected is uh, column M3 to M7, right? Now what will happen if I end up replacing that blank with 0? Do you think average will change? Vishak, can you put 0 in M5 cell?
Right. So, what just happened over here is when a cell is blank, first of all, as you can see, the value got updated, right? So, what has happened over here is if your cell is blank, then average formula itself will identify it as blank and not consider it while calculating the average. And the moment you will enter a value that is 0 over here, it gets added up, right? So, just to uh, clarify, this plus this plus this and plus this is 918, and 918 divided by 4 is 229. This is the value that you are getting when your cell is blank. There's no value, right? And same value we'll be getting, sorry, and if the same value gets divided by 5, your average gets updated. Now, this is what happening. Is this clear that any function that you'll be using, if the cell value is blank, it will not get considered while using the formula, right? And if you have entered a certain value, for example, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, or any other number, your formula gets updated.
Now, my second question, if you want to include C, which is M5, without putting 0, how we can do that? I want
Yes,
to
M5.
include 0. I want to treat blank as a 0, and I want to do average without putting 0 in the dataset. Okay. What we can do is we can do a direct sum and divide by count of rows, count of values, right? It's average.
So if you want, for example, you want an average wherein if your cell value is 0, so to
Blank
solve a
is blank.
particular if is your is blank, so to solve a particular problem statement within an Excel is you have multiple approaches over here, right? One currently that we are using, one which so then there's one which Vish has told, and then there's one more which I'll tell you, right? So this is basically we want to do this sum of this particular range.
So why are we telling you this? Because these blanks change the output of entire analysis. Like if you're not handling the blanks and zeros correctly in the data set, if you're not exploring your data before using it, before doing an analysis, it will just change the output of it, right? So it's very important to understand your data. You need to explore your data. How many blanks are there? Whether you want the blanks, whether you want the blanks to be replaced by zero, and how to handle in the data or in the formulas if not in the data, right? So this is a very important part of this.
So now if you'll see, we'll be covering two more formulas. One is count A and one is count blank, right? So count A is whatever range. So write equal to. So guys, I want you to replicate this data set, that is person and daily spends, A, B, C, D, E, and write any value, whatever you want, or you can replicate this. For A, you can write 200. For B, you can write 550. C should be blank. C should be blank. D is 66 and E is 102.
Sorry, just to show Vishak how a dynamic Excel is, if you can insert a row in between bit after B and can we check how will the formula change accordingly?
Sorry, if you want to.
If we can insert a row after B, person B, and just
Yes.
insert a new row and just show them how the formula will dynamically update itself.
So, yeah, so for example, right now we are using average, right? So even if we are adding a particular row with no entry, no data over here, your values will not change. But formulas, depending where we are covering blanks, will get updated. Now, what we are doing over here is the first function that we have used is sum. That is sum of this particular range, which comes out to be 918. Second is count A. Now, count A is basically we want to count the number of cells in the range that we have passed where it has some value, or where the value is not equal to null, where the value is not equal to blank. Again, I'll repeat this. Count A. The formula name is count A. It counts the number of cell within your particular range where the cell is not empty, where the cell is null, or where the cell is not blank, right? So now count A. I have passed 5 cells as my range, and as you can see, that in for person C, the spends are blank. Now, if I change it to 1, my formula gets updated. If I change it to 0, my formula gets updated. I keep it blank, it gets updated. I keep it 0, irrespective of what value you have entered. If the value is blank, it will not count it. And if the value has, if the cell has some value, it will get counted, right? So let's suppose that my count A comes out to be 4, and then I have count blank as a function. So what does count blank do? Again, it is similar to count blank will return the number of blank values within your range that you have passed. So my count blank is 1. Now, if I add a row in between, your formula gets updated. This is your formula. The formula that we have currently passed is count I want. So my problem statement over here is I want to count the number of cells which are blank in this particular range, right? And my range over here is M3 till M7. If dynamically I just want, oh, there's one more person, let's say Vishak, and my daily spends are of 10 rupees, right? This gets updated automatically.
The point is, if you enter any data point between the range, it will automatically will be reflected in the formula. But if you end up adding data after E, it will not update the formulas.
So if I want, so there are two types of average, right? One is the average. This is my old average. Old average where I am using only and only I'm only using the function that is by default provided by Excel, that is average. In average, as we know, blanks are not considered. And in new average, I want my average to be considered. So what I can do is I can count the number of cells in my range where value is present. I can count the number of cells where my count is blank. I can add them up and create a new formula, that is dividing the sum by your total counts. Now, one more thing that is possible is nesting or using multiple formulas within your single cell. So, talking about yes, so we were talking about creating multiple formulas, writing multiple formulas within a single cell. So now what I want is I want the sum in this in my range, and I want to divide it again. I want to divide it by, let's suppose I want to count A and the number of cells present, plus I want to count blank, the number of cells which do not have a value or the value is empty, and then I want to divide it. This might feel a bit confusing right now, but it is basically writing multiple formulas within a single cell. What we did over here was we had selected one cell to calculate our sum, one cell to calculate the values, calculate the number of cells uh, uh, where my value was not equal to null or was not empty. Third, what I did was count blank, which is basically number of cells where my value is blank. And then I did a sum of rows, sum of number of rows, right? Which is 5. And then creating my new average, that is P3, the sum divided by total number of rows. I can, instead of using 5 different cells to calculate my one value, I can write everything within a particular cell. I want you to repeat this step with me. I want the sum of my range. Then I want to divide it again by the sum of count A. Count A is to find the number of cells in my range where value is not blank, along with count blank, number of cells where my cell is blank in my particular range. Let's suppose that the very function of average, we'll write it using the Excel formula, as well as by basically, if we want to calculate an average using a calculator, how will we do it, right? Again, so there's a product X, Y, Z, and the cost. So the cost of the product X is $100, cost of product Y is $200, and cost of product Z is 180. Now, just a quick add-on is I can convert it to currency simply by using this, or I can change it to dollars by using by using my data type in the number format within the home navigation bar, right? Now, I want to create two types of average. One average using I want to create average by using Excel function. And again, I want average by using pacing from basic. Uh, okay, right. Now, let's start by using average. What I want is what is the average cost of product XYZ combined. I'll pass this range. and I'll get a sum of 160, right? Again, what I want now is the number of so now what I want is, by using basics formulas, I have two approach. First approach is I can simply write sum of one of xy or xyz, dividing it by 3. Now again, I want this 3 to be dynamic. अगर यहाँ पर if I add one more row over here, if I have entered this 3 manually and यहाँ पे एक product आता है A, which is of 150, this is not giving me the correct answer, right? So I want my 3 to be dynamic as well. So how can I do it is by using count A. Again, I pass this particular range and divide it 160. Now, if I add one more cell, write A and enter value as 80, both my values get updated, right? So now coming to your particular data set, right? As you can see, this is the data set that you all must have received, right? First thing that we want is our header should always be in bold so that I can identify which header it is. Now I can see this date, right? It is not appealing correct to me. It is because the date range, it is not in the date format which we are used to. How can I change the date format for a particular cell? Go to home. Home, in numbers, you have different data types available. Now I want short date, long date. So I click on short date. This is the data. This is how it will get updated. Right now I want long date. This is how it's going to get updated. To customize this, so this is your basic one approach, just to give you a glimpse of uh, how advanced data type and number formats change. Is basically the simple approach that you can use is go to price and change it to currency, right? Now I want something dynamic. ऐसे नहीं, I want a customized data type being used for data representation being used for my column D, that is date. I can click Control plus 1. So select your particular day, the range where you want to make changes. So I've selected it. Now press Control 1. A pop-up will appear, that is your format cells. One way to open format cells pop-up is this. Second is go to date, go to the drop-down menu in numbers and go to more number formats. Now I want to create a custom format. That is, I want my DD and MMM. No year. I don't want year to be visible in my data set because it has data for a particular year only, that is 2021. So I just want my date to be in DDMMM. That is day, that is your, for example, 12th June, and then the month. Again, I'll repeat this particular step, right? That is, I don't want my date range to be in similar format or the same format that is visible over here. I don't want long date, short date. I want a customized format for my range. So I'll go to more number formats. I'll go to custom and I'll create my own type, that is sorry, that is DD MMM, right? Okay, now if we again, I want to select MRP, I want to change it to currency. I guess this is pretty straightforward, and how to change the data types, how to change this selecting a particular range. And if you want to customize, you can either press Control plus 1 by selecting the range, or you can go to custom and more format. Okay, now moving on to some basic uh, know-ifs that you need to know about Excel is your how to sort your data, how to filter your data, right? Now, first thing that you can do is select your data. How to select your data? Go to your table, click anywhere and press Control A. If you'll press Control A on a blank sheet, you'll end up selecting the whole sheet. What we want is we just want to select our table. So press Control A, then go to data. In data, you can go to sort. Under sort and filter, again, I'll repeat it. Select your table, go to data, go to sort. Now, to sort your data, you have multiple levels or for level sorting available. You have option on which column you want to sort your data, what is ascending order, descending order, everything is possible. So now what I want is I want my data to be sorted in as per category and as per brand, irrespective of date. I don't want to sort my date, right? Ideally, date is the first column that needs to be sorted, but just to prove a point or give a different example, I don't want my data to be sorted as per date. I want it should be sorted on the basis of category and brand. First, let's do it only for category. So I want to do it for category. I want to sort the data based on the cell values and I want to do it in ascending order. Just to give you an idea, in your category, we have three values: desktop, monitors, printers. If we'll sort the data as per ascending order, it's going to be DMP. And if we are going to sort it based on descending order, it's going to be PMD, right? So right now what we have done is we have sorted the data based on let's now sort the data based on category in descending order. So now printers is at top, right? What I want is after printers, my first brand that should appear should be in ascending order. So I've sorted the data as per category in descending order and brand in ascending order. Now let's do it. Now your data gets updated, correct? So if I sort the data, if I filter the data only for printers, in printers you have these particular brands, wherein brother is your number one in terms of ascending order. See, sorting to sort, if the very first step while getting your end report or the result being shared with the clients is your data should be presentable, it should be clean, at least it should be visually appearing, right? So now sorting the data is your basic 101, comes under basic 101 of Excel, right? I hope that it's clear to everyone. Again, I'll repeat it quickly. Select your particular table, whatever you want, wherever your table is, go to any value and click Control plus A, and you'll be able to select the complete table. Now go to, so you'll be by default on the home page, home navigation bar, go to data and click on sort. Under sort and filter tab, go to sort. Now I want to filter the column based on category in ascending order, and then I want to filter my data based on date in oldest to newest. And I'll click OK, and my data gets updated. Right? It's very simple, guys. Now I want to filter out my data. As you were seeing that, I was quickly just checking, acha printers may I want where is Canon and on Canon, how many number of units was Canon able to, what was the sales for a particular product, that is this of Canon on 3rd April. That was 4 units. So I was directly able to filter the data, right? How to do it? Again, select your date range, select your data table, and then go to home. After home, go to, sorry, my bad. So go to data tab, and in data tab, go to filter. Once you select the filter, you'll see that there's a drop down menu available for each column. Okay, so now when I say go back to your Excel, let's start with it. What I want is I want to filter out my data quickly. So I have selected my data and then I have clicked on filter. A drop down button is visible for every column. Now let's go to brand. Brand, I want to filter my data for, let's suppose, Acer as a brand. Now Acer comes for Acer sells desktops as well as monitors. I just want to check for desktops. And in desktops, I want to find on date 4th of April. So I can filter it out directly. This is the basic of filter, right? Now what I want is I want to filter the combined data based on date filter. I want a specific date, not by clicking, not by entering the data from here. I just want to select my last week combined data. So this is by default for current date range. Let's suppose, okay, now if I go to printers, now in printers, I am selecting brother as a brand. Now I want to sum up the total units being sold for printers for my brand brother within a price bracket of 10,000 to 15,000. So go to number filter and then you can go to go to first filter out category as printers, brand as brother, and go to price column. Now in price column, you can either manually go and select all the price that are visible under 15,000 and greater than 10,000. But what if we had around 5 lakh rows over here? And at an increment value of 1,000. So by default, selecting 5,000 values one by one is not humanly possible, right? So now let's go to number filter. You have an option of number filter where you can select between, greater than, less than, equal to, all the sub functions of the filter. So now I want to select between and I want a value which is greater than or equal to 10,000. And again, and or I hope you all know the difference between and or. And is where both the conditions are have met, and or is where any one of the conditions are met, right? So now, based on and, I want my range between 10,000 and 15,000. I'll click OK, and my data gets filtered out. All the values, all the data sets present in this particular data set right now are either uh, greater than 10,000 and less than 15,000. Is this making sense for you all? Are you able to perform sort and filter function? Filter a shortcut to sort and filter. Now, sorting can also be done using the filter function itself and a quick uh, and a quick uh, 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 shortcut to perform or directly filter out your data is you can directly press Control Shift L, and you'll see that your filter options are directly getting popping. They're popping up, right? Again, I'll repeat it. Control Shift L. Go to your date data, select any value within your data set, that is your table. Press Control Shift and L, and you'll be able to see that your filters are directly popping up. See, there are multiple Excel shortcuts for everything. There is a shortcut in Excel as well, right? These are just some, top functions and the top uh, get to knows that are really important and are used industry wide and is a very good practice to know. That is Control Shift L, and how to filter and sort the data. These are very basic functions. Okay. Now okay, I'll add up to it as well. What I want is I want to filter as well as sort my data, not by going to data. I just want to do it in a single view over here, right? Go press Control Shift L, and then once you drop down, so click on for any column, just click on the drop down menu, and you'll see the first three values are for sorting. I want to sort my data based on oldest to newest in descending order or in ascending order, whatever I want, right? By simply not by selecting the sort function, but directly from the filter itself. Now, what I want is my category to be sorted in descending order. This can also be done. To filter out the data, again, you have two options. One is by default, you will be at home, right? You can select Control Shift L, or you can go to data function and click on filter. Once you are at the filter option, go to brand as any whatever brand you want, whatever category, you can directly filter it out. For a particular date range, I want to see it for third, and then for my particular product, and you'll be able to get the data, extract the data. Let's going back to the PPT, right? Sorting, filtering, validation. Validation we'll cover going forward. Now, let's start with the dashboard building. Okay. Now, the few things that we can quickly add up over here is, now for a person who's a BA or a data analyst, they ideally get to know by looking at the data what are the things that are missing, what are the columns that can be quickly added, what are the basic columns required to do the insighting. Okay. So the first thing is change your date. First is your date. You must have received it in the default formatting, right? The number format of the date. Select date, either select the date column or select the date range, and just change it to short date. Guys, I want you to perform it parallelly as well, right? Date range we have changed. Second is your price and MRP. Select the price and MRP as range, or you can select the column and then change it to currency. And then you have, oh, okay. So for a quick, there's you can increase and decrease the number of decimals you want. And for easier visualization, let's just decrease it to 0. So going over here, you can decrease the decimal points as well, right? Okay. Now, in terms of uh, revenue or sales, what are my sales? One is, so let's just quickly understand the data set first, right? This is a product ID, which is unique to every product of a particular company. For example, site-wide. This data is for an e-commerce website, right? Then you have a category. So for example, we have 3 different categories over here: desktop, monitors, printers. For each product in these particular categories, what is the brand they are associated with? On a particular date, what was the price and MRP, and what were the number of units sold for this particular product, right? So now there are multiple brands. For example, if you will go to printers, you'll be able to see there are multiple brands: Brother, Canon, HP, Epson, all of them, right? And then there's a so we the data set has a date range of 3 months for 2021, April till June, 1st of April till 16th of June. So it is 2.5 months of data. Now, what we want is, let's create what is the revenue slash sales being generated by each product. A simple formula that I can use over here is multiplying price. When I say price is my selling price, multiplying my selling price with units sold. Let's suppose there is a product. We bought a chocolate for 10 rupees, right? From a shopkeeper, we bought a chocolate for 10 rupees. And in the whole day, the shopkeeper has sold 10 chocolates. So now 10 into 10 is 100 rupees. The revenue or the sales that the shopkeeper has done by selling this particular chocolate in the whole day is 100. 10 units into 10 rupees is 100. Make sense? Now, what I want is,
Vishal, can you
I'll,
please repeat the step how you drag the formula?
yes. Okay. So there are two options that can be done. At the bottom of, once you write your formula, at the bottom right, there's a small button. So your icon will change from white plus to black plus, and just double click it. Your formula gets dragged down. Or what you can do is you can copy the formula and manually select the manually select the range where you want to paste the formula, right? This is ideally when, let's suppose that our data set was only for 20 rows. Then you could have simply just copied it and selected the range and pasted it, right? For easier function, you can either double click over here, or you can copy your function, go to the end of the table and come back from the same cell itself. I'll repeat this once, guys. Follow it with me, right? Copy your formula cell. Now just press Control C or right click copy. Copy your particular cell. Now we want to go to the end of the table. How to go to the end of the table? Either you can scroll down from here, right? Or your second option is click on any other cell where you have the complete data. Press Control Shift down arrow, Control Shift down arrow, and then select H column last, that is 41209. Again, press Control Shift up arrow and paste it. So ways to perform a same function. The easiest way to do it is simply just double click at the bottom right. Now we'll learn three more formulas over here, that is day, month, and year. From the date itself, I want to extract what is the day, that is, for example, okay, let me just write the functions first and then we'll perform it together, right? What I want to do right now is from my date function, I want to select only the date. That is, for example, 12 June 2021. I want 12 separately. What was the day? What was the month? That is 6 separately, and year separately. The simple formula that I can use over here, sorry, is day, select day, and then pass the cell for which you want the day. Write month, day, month, year. They are pretty straightforward. Enter month and then enter year. Again, we'll select the complete range of formulas which you want to drag down and just double click over here. Date, month, year. Very simple formulas. Write date. Okay, I'm repeating it. Perform it parallelly as well. Write day. Pass your date as the value from which you want to extract the data. Month, write equal to month. Again, date, you'll get 06. Year, write function year and date. So you will get 12, 6, and 2021. And double clicking it, it will drag your formula till the bottom. Okay, now this is your date, month, year. Now what I want to do is copy. Okay, so for every guys, the tab name of the sheet name of your Excel workbook would be raw data, right? Now to create a dashboard, there are 2, 3 things that alternatively needs to be added. First is your backend. Second is your front end. Now, I would like you all to add these 2 sheets and rename it by double clicking on them or by right click and rename backend and front end tab. In the backend, what we want to do is we want to find the unique values of the important columns. Now, what I want is category. Second thing that I want is brand. And the third thing that I want is month, right? So just copy these particular columns. How you can do is, let's do one by one. Just select B column, category column, press Control C, go to backend, paste it. Now go to data and go to data tools, click on remove duplicates. Click OK. all your duplicates will get removed and you will end up getting the unique values for a particular column. I'll repeat this once more, right? Please perform it carefully. This is very, very important. Go to raw data, copy your particular column. Now I'll copy brand, paste it anywhere you want in the backend sheet, and go to data. In data, go to remove duplicates under data tools. Click on remove duplicates, press OK. Your duplicates will get removed and you'll end up getting a list of unique values. Again, I'll
Shortcut
repeat it. Go
to
to
yeah,
raw.
shortcut to
Yeah.
do this is Alt AM.
Yes. So same, we'll go over here. We'll go to month. We'll paste it over here. And so now see the difference over here. Now what we are doing is the moment we just copied month and pasted it in backend, we are getting some error, right? Now why it is happening is because over here we have used a formula. Now what I want is copy the month column, go to backend and click on G1 and paste it as values. Okay, I'll repeat it. How can we do it? Copy your month column, go to any cell that you want to paste it. Either right click over here or on the home page itself, you have an option of clipboard. So you can click on paste, and in paste, I want to paste it as values, right? So paste values, I only want values. Or you can simply right click and select the second option under paste options, that is value. I'll repeat it once more, right? Go to raw data, copy the month column, go to backend, and then paste your column in values only. Go to paste option, values, the second option. And then again, we want to remove the duplicates, go to month, and by simply, you can use the formula Alt AM, click OK, and you'll get the values. Done. Okay. Now what we want over here is my front end. My front end should be visually a bit appealing and should be dynamic as well. So now over here, in the front end, select your first two rows. Now, how can you select the complete row is by either Shift Control right, or you can just click on the row number. So row 1, row 2. I want to select row 1, row 2. I've combined them, and then I want to color them up. Now in your font, go to and select any color that you want. The next two rows, I want to color them separately in a lighter shade. Done. First two rows, click on row number 1, row number 2, and I want to shade them a bit darker tone, and 3 and 4th a bit lighter, right? Now what I want is I want you all to select this range. How to select a range is particularly click on A1 and drag your range till W2 and click on merge and center. What this will do is give you a single cell. Merge all the cells that you have selected and merge them into a single cell. What let's repeat the step, right? What I want is select A1 till W2 and merge the cells, merge and center. What this will do is merge your particular cells that you have selected. Now over here I want to enter the name of the dashboard that I'm creating. Wayspire ecom dashboard, right? To do the alignment, again, you can select from here. I want it to be aligned in center and in middle, right? And whatever color you want, guys, color is up to you. You want to change the background, you can change the background. You want to change the text color, you can change it from here. For example, I have selected white. We can change it to orange as well. We can change it to yellow as well, whatever color you want, right? By default, we'll go with white. The second thing that I want is the three cells that I have created: category, brand, and month. Now, what I want first thing is my category. So I'll select three more cells, and again, then I'm going to merge them. I'll write category over here. I hope you all are following me as well, right? Second thing that I want is brand, and then I want is month. So after three cells, I'll merge them up. 3 into 3 is 6, 3 into 2 is 6, right? So I'll merge these 6 cells and write category. Then leaving the next 3 cells, I'll write brand. Again, I'll select them and I'll bold them up. After again leaving 3 cells, and I'll write month. Now let's start with the proper dashboarding. That is, I'll provide you 3 different dynamic views so that you can just get a glimpse of what 1% of Excel is capable of, right? What I want to do over here is I'll go to my data, select. Okay, now guys, please listen to this very carefully. First, listen to it, then we'll perform it together, right? After category, we'll select 6 cells, merge them up, go to data validation. In validation, I want to select my list, and my source should be the 3 cells of category. Now so what I'll be able to achieve is a drop down view where I can select whatever I want. Now we'll perform it together, right? After category, the next 6 cells, merge them. Merge all these 6 cells. This is by default your view, right? I want you to merge the next 6 cells after category. Go to data. In data tools, go to data validations. I'll repeat. After category, 6 cells, please merge them up. Go to data. In data tools, data visualization. Click on data validation. Click on data validation. Go to data validation. Yes. Now what I want you to do is go to, sorry, my bad. Yes, I want to increase. My Excel is acting up. No worries. Okay. So what I want you to do is, by default, this is the view that you'll be getting, the data validation, right? In validation criteria, I want you all to select the drop down and select list, because I want to create a list where my source, what is my source? Go to backend, click over here. You'll see a small icon over here with up arrow. Click on icon, go to backend and select category, desktop and monitors. These 3 values. Click on OK. You will be able to get a drop down with desktop, printers, monitors as the value. Okay, now, so in the interest of time, what we can do is let's create a dynamic dashboard using pivot tables, which will help you out to uh, for which you won't be requiring a lot of formulas and rest of the things, right? Now, what I want you to do is go back to your raw data, select the table, and go to insert pivot table, and click new worksheet and click OK. So guys, just to give you an idea, that pivot table is something which you can use to transform. Basically, it summarizes all your data that is present, right? It can transform your million rows, 1 million rows into single row or multi-row or maybe 5, 10 rows based on what selections that you have done, right? There's no manual calculation required over here. It's a drag and drop. It's a tool within Excel itself, right? Getting to know pivot, if you are able to understand it, it's like magic, right? Go to raw data, select the table, go to insert, click on pivot table, and select new worksheet and OK. You'll see a different altogether, visualization which is appearing on my screen as well. And you'll see that there are pivot table fields which are visible, right? All the column headers which were mentioned in raw data are available over here as well. Now, what I want is that at a category level, I want to understand what for every month, what was the total number of sales that happened, right? This is my problem statement. What I'll quickly perform it and then I'll tell you what I did, right? I want category. So my categories are listed in fours. Then I want for my different 3 months of 2021, what was my number of units sold? Now just look at that. We have changed this data, which was of 41,000 rows, 41,000 plus rows, into a simple table where I'm able to get what was the number of units being sold in each category every month. we just we just visualize. And for example, so now let's suppose that you are a working professional. If you are a student right now, we wish best of you for your hiring drive, and may you soon get placed. Now let's suppose that you are working, right? And when you are working, you are sending two different, there's person A who's sending this data to the client, and there's person B who has summarized the, the data in this view and sharing it with the client. What is who has the upper edge or who has the advantage, right? Sharing data is not the task. We as data analytics, we need to present the data in a form where people can read it, people can find insights, or we'll be providing the insights as well, wherein people can just simply see, oh, clearly it is visible that in June the sales went down, in May they were up, or April they were uh, approximately same, right? All these things are simply visualize, changing your raw data into summarized small tables. Now what I want is, again, over here I want to filter as well. Now I want to create a dynamic tab over here wherein I want my filter based on brand, and or I want my categories to be in rows and my brands to be, my brands to be in rows, and I want my category. Now I just want to see printers may what was the sellout for each brand for it each month. So as we can see that brand X and brand Canon were able to, the brand X is at number one, then there's Canon, then there's Eton, and then there's Brother, right? All these are possible using the pivot tables. Select the particular data that you want to analyze, go to insert, go to pivot table. In new worksheet, click OK. Now I want you to write category, drag category in rows. So how you can drag category is either by selecting category. By default, it will automatically select where it should ideally go. Or second option is dragging category to rows. Then I want date in columns and my unit solds in value. Just to give you a quick glimpse of, how, okay, let's suppose I'll repeat it. Category I want over here. For printers itself, I want to see this visually, that, how my brands are changing. How I just want to, let's just select top brands over here. My top brands are brand X. My top brands are brand X, or I'll just add, sorry, my bad. Top brands are Eton, and then I want to add brand X. Right. I want to select X and then I want to select Eton, and I only want Canon as well. I don't want brother. These are the three main competitors that I have, and I want to analyze the data based on visually appealing data. Now, what I can do is simply again go over here, go to visual pivot table analysis, go to pivot charts. As you can see, I can find that I have been recommended multiple charts: column chart, line chart, pie chart, bar chart, area chart. There are multiple charts which we can create from visually create. Right now, I want to just compare this for each month. What are the sales happening for each brand? We can change this by selecting the category as well. We have a brand option. Now I want to add for brother as well. I can add for brother, and this will dynamically get updated by simply changing the filter. Guys, I guess this might currently be looking like what just happened, right? We'll try to do it together once. Go to raw data, select the table, go to insert, go to pivot table, move sheet. Now drag your category in filters, drag your brand in rows, drag the date in columns, and your unit sold in value. I hope everyone is able to create the pivot table, selecting the data, insert pivot table, and then drag the category to filters, brand to rows, your date to columns, and your unit sold to value. You'll be able to get the summarized view of the raw data that we have. Go to printers, select printers and category, and we'll be able to see a summarized view only specific to printers.
Also, Tushar, can
Now,
you add a
hmm,
slicer based on this pivot? So go to insert,
no,
and
wait, just a second.
it will be easy for them to filter.
Just, yeah,
And then click on slicer.
just 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. So over here, what you can do is, as another option, is your in by selecting your table, a pivot table, you have an option to insert slicer. Click on insert slicer and create. You can filter out whatever data you want. Right now, I want for category, so I have it for category. I also want the similar filter for brand, so I'll get it for brand as well. So currently, I'm selecting all the brands. If I change it to monitors, if I change it to desktop, this will dynamically get updated, right? Now, what I want is, are you able, okay, I'll repeat this once for everyone, right? Once you have created this table, go to pivot table analysis and just click on insert slicer. Insert slicer, click two things. One is category and second is brand. You'll be able to see two different slicers. Let's just put them over here. Now what I want is a pivot chart. Again, by selecting your value, go to pivot chart and select your select a column cluster chart. So we have selected this particular chart. Now I can see that, in brands, there are multiple brands which I don't require. I just require Brother, Canon, Eton, and X. So you can now, are you guys able to see this that dynamically just by clicking on, two, three filters, I am able to change the visualization that is appealing to the so the for the client, this is something what would be going out. You just need to change, I don't want the data for Canon. Okay. Client just wants to compare X with the Eton, not with Brother, and they'll be easily able to click on the filters and see this, right? Now, this, as you can see, that all these filters can be, just imagine the type of visualization that can be done from here, right? Just imagine that you have a filter over here, then you have provided different filter option to the client, wherein it's not just these two filter, there are multiple filter options, right? Just to give you an example, not a very, very dynamic dashboard template that I have right now, but yes, just to show you what kind of dashboards are possible. For example, something like this. This is a revenue dashboard for a international client, right? And just by clicking on a particular country, they are able to find all the parameters, all the KPIs, all the key important things in a single view, right? Sorry, I want to compare, I want to see. So there's a team which is leading Italy as a country. They just want to in a single view. So now how many, just look at the dashboard right now. This dashboard is a single point of view for six different teams, one for each country level uh, team, and one who's heading the particular who's heading the region. For example, the France team just looks at France and they are able to find out that this is, see, for this particular sales rep is not performing good. This is the sales that are being done. Uh, what are the different salesmen, how many calls did this particular salesman did, what is the positive negative feedback, and so on, right? Just imagine the capability of, just by performing this simple functions that we did, we can achieve a similar dashboard to this. There's one more dashboard that I like to show, which is a corporate dashboard, right? What in Scotland's, what is my revenue, what is my EBITDA happening, what is the expense and sales versus profit in a particular category, what are the headcounts of FT and so on, right? Just to provide you, show you the capabilities. And see, the top level management level, everyone expects that I want my dashboard on Excel. I want it perfectly. I can just simply click on, I want the data for it on. I'll just simply click on it and I can see the trend line. We can see that in June, all the trends are going down. For brother, month on month, we are decreasing. For X, we went up in the month of May and so on, right?
So guys, what is dashboard? Dashboard is a bunch of visuals and slicers working together to tell a story, right? So instead of just giving the data to the client, what we prefer is to give a dashboard so that they can play with it. They can understand the story key. Okay, now we have three categories. What is the revenue across three categories? In each category, which are the major players and how they are what percent of market they are capturing, right? And again, at last, maybe last visual, I'll show which are top performing SKUs, the products which are contributing to the sales, right? So this is a story represented in the form of visuals, charts, and slicers, with a person can play and slice and dice, right? This is what is dashboard. So maybe Mishak, we can add couple of two more charts like at a category level, brand level, SKU level, maybe a trend plot, so that.
Right. So for example, so just to give you guys an idea, what we had planned for you was this particular dashboard. What we'll do is we'll share it with you as well. And I just want to show what kind of, possibilities that we have and expectation that I had. Uh, for example, in printers, I just want to click for Canon, right? Day on day, this data gets updated by simply clicking on May, June, April. Your data gets updated, right? For the month of category, if I want to compare only my desktops and monitors, what is the pie chart that I'm getting for monitors and printers? What am I getting? I'll be sharing this with you. Just to provide a glimpse of VBA. I'll add VBA is a, visual basics applications for visual basics for applications, wherein you can code behind Excel to make your dashboards, make your calculations, make your performance even way beyond. uh, so we'll try to cover this in the next session, but just to give you a glimpse of it, right? I'll insert a module wherein, uh, sub
Basically, you can code in Excel.
Right.
I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this.
Yes,
And you can maybe you can do anything with this code. Like you can scrape, you can do like you can perform, you can create charts from backend only. No need to do everything in the front end, right?
right. So just when I had joined, it's been 5 years for me working as a business analyst. Currently, I'm a manager analytics at one DS. And when I had joined, when I had started my professional career, for me it was very very simple. That Excel to yaar is something where it is for a data entry job purpose. But once you start getting to know the potential and the way it is being utilized in industry, not just in e-com, quick com, or data analysis, but any industry that you'll see, any of any of your sibling, any of your mentors, any of your friends, anyone working in any company, just ask them how often do you use Excel. 85 to 90% of people will say it is something that we use on a daily basis, because at the end, even creation of logics is being done on Excel, right?
Honestly, I
Uh,
cannot imagine my life without Excel. To be honest,
True.
yes.
True. Yeah. And last night also I was just having a word with Vishwendra, wherein I was just talking that how can something we can have a myth about something so bad that
Yeah,
it cross even after graduating, before joining or starting your professional career, it is always that Excel is something, array, this is no one needs to learn it, but it is a
yeah.
must have tech to learn and excel in. Yeah.
I think
So
guys are running behind AI, ML, Python, right? These are
hmm,
good, but the basics of data analytics is Excel. If you are not aware of Excel, if you do not know how to work in Excel, I think you are. It's very difficult for you to imagine the data. So if you're not able to imagine the data in your mind and you're not able to play with it, I don't think you are doing the proper data analytics, right? So for that, Excel is a very basic and very at at the same time advanced tool. Yeah.
true, right. So just a show of hands of number of people who had no idea that you can code in Excel as well. There's a language which is used for Excel, that is VBA. Yeah, surprising, right?
I'm
I
sure
mean, this,
90% of people are not aware about this.
yeah,
And
true, true.
it's pretty advanced. You can write loops. You can do ever, but I think you can do everything that you can do in Python. Most of things.
Right. Just to give you an example over here, a quick example. So if I insert, let's suppose that there's always a dashboard, proper dashboarding, and where the so where your theme, even your theme for the client is pre-decided. For example, I want there's a brand by the name of X, and they want their color theme to be followed. All your charts, all your dashboard, all your colors, right from which trend line should have which color, what should be visually appearing, is selected and then shared with the client. Now, let's suppose that the client has also asked that they want a clickable button, wherein if they click on the button, they go back to raw data. They can see the raw data as well of the dashboard that we have prepared. They also want to see the raw data, and then in the raw data, they want a button wherein they can click on it and go back to the front end of the dashboard. Right? Just very simple. Don't ignore
So,
the
so when we
further
share this
part.
file with clients now, so we just happen to like remove all the toolbars and all the sheet selections, right? So we do not want to we don't allow them to see the backend files and backend calculations that we do. So maybe Vishak, you can do that as well. So you will
Yes,
not
yes.
like uh,
Yeah, so basically when we share the file with the client, right? Even your selection from, for example, let's suppose, let's just hide this, right?
mm.
Ideally we usually hide, not just hide them, but we remove them. But just for the sake of time, what I'll do is
Also we
I'm
can apply
hiding them,
passwords on
right?
sheets as well.
And
Yeah.
even the Yes, we can apply passwords so that anyone cannot just access them easily. Now the client has requested that they also want to go to the raw data tab. Now to give them access, what we can do is we can go over here, assign a macro. Macro is basically the code that we macro is basically the function that we have created. Now function created within Excel codec. Now what we were using navigate to home. Again, I'll write one more, navigate to raw data, right? And my uh, home is basically front end, and my navigate to raw data is sheet 5 dot select. This is a very, very basic if and for loops. Everything is possible in Excel. These are some of the very basic ones which I am presenting right now in interest of times. This is basically writing, uh, print hello world sort of thing. But let's select it. Now raw data, go to assign macro, and I want to assign it navigate to home. Now simply by clicking on it, and over here I want to RD, and over here I'll assign opposite to home. Hmm. Yes. So what we have done over here is, now if I select over here the front end, and there's there's front end and back end. Now I want to navigate to home. When I say navigate to home, home is basically my tab name for front end, right? And over here you can see for front end it is sheet number 4. So navigate to home, sheet number 4 dot select. What will happen is, I'll go over here, I'll assign a macro that is navigate to home. And when I'm clicking on it, it will take me to home. And then there's raw data wherein I want to navigate to RD. RD is raw data basically. I click over here and I can go to raw data. Now, if I hide my raw data, even then I can directly go to uh, okay, so there's multiple things that we need to apply before. So one thing is, right now, for the select function to be made, we cannot hide it, but to uh, make this. So for example, what we can do over here is we can remove this the tab, the sheet tab from here,
We'll
and
remove
we
the ribbon
can,
itself. Yeah.
yes, we'll remove the ribbon itself, and we can directly select backend and front end without going from the raw data to the front end, right? One more quick thing that can be done is, for example, every time every time there's a client, and or maybe we can write sort of click me sort of thing, and then and on click me I want to write, let's suppose, I want to write something like this, right? So when I click, what I'll do is I'll assign the macro that is click test me. And then if I write click me, thank you everyone for attending the session sort of thing. And every time a client opens it, the dashboard greets the client with hi, good morning, or whatever time it is. Anything is possible using Excel.
Vishal, maybe I'll take it from here. I need to show a couple of advanced features that we can do. So just need 5 more
Got
minutes. Yeah.
done, done, done.
Well,
Thank you everyone.
yeah, yeah. I just want to give a flavor of what all is capable, is like what all we can do in Excel, right? Just to give us just a flavor of it. I'll just share my screen. So now, what I want to show you is we can direct. like what we did was we already had data in our Excel, but if we want to import data from web, we can directly do so as well. Like let's, for example, let's I want to analyze world population by year on year, a trend of world population. So there's this website that gives me this data. So by year, you can see population of the world, right? And how it is changing. Now, if I want to import this data, maybe I can directly copy paste it. Or if I want to make it dynamic, what I can do is I can directly go to data. Yeah, I can go data. I can import data from web, right? It will ask me to input the URL. Okay. Now I need the URL of this website. I'll just copy paste it. What this tool will do for me is it will extract all the data from this particular website, which is there in tabular format. I'll just show you. Okay. As you can see here, there's a navigator tab. Here in the web view, you can directly view the page that we are trying to import, right? Under table, there's this, if you go to table, right? Sorry, I double click there. Now we have a query editor in which the data is loaded here. If I just can remove these three columns, I don't want this data. I can just remove these columns, right? So this is a Power Editor that you will typically see in Power BI, Power Query Editor, but it is now available in Excel as well, so that you can directly transform data here. Now I just close and load this data. Now the data is there in my Excel. I've sort of crawled it from web, right? So now you can see data is there in Excel. And if I just want to explore this data, I can see it's year on year, but for last, I think the last 10 entries are there, which are not in this order. Like they are like, so I maybe just for this sort of analysis, I can remove these entries for now, maybe before 1950, because these are not continuous yearly entries. So now I have this data with me, population data. I want to convert maybe this column into in billions, because to make it more readable, billions is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? This is 8.3 billion of uh, population 2025. I'll just copy and I'll just paste as values, right? I'll just remove this column. Now what I have is I have the data. Okay. Now what I have is I have year on year population in billions, right? Now I want to just round it. I want to make it in two decimals only or one decimal only. I'll just round it. It's right. It's as simple as that. I'm just quickly applying some formulas to show you how quickly you can do the analysis here, right? This is population. Now we have yearly population. I want to maybe as sort it by year in ascending order. And now I want to draw a maybe let's see. Let's try to visualize this data in chart format. Insert, insert. I'll draw a scatter plot, right? As you can see, year on year population is increasing, right? It's a kind of linear trend. And if I want to know more about the trend, maybe I can just try to fit a trend line in this. This is a inbuilt functionality of Excel. It will try to kind of fit a curve for your data points. So for this, maybe we can try linear, right? You can see a line here. I can try more options. We can try to fit a logarithmic curve, right? You can see, I'm not sure you're able to see what, but it's a line, blue line, which is trying to fit the curve, right? And if I want to like just this is a core data analytics that we can easily do in Excel, right? Uh, then if I want to see the equation of this curve that I'm fitting in this in for the data points, I can see this is a very simple equation. Like you can see it's a logarithmic equation that we have fitted here, right? It's a log equation. So if let's suppose I want this, if assuming the population curve will follow this curve for coming years as well, maybe I can use this formula and try to predict what will be the population in coming years, right? If I just copy paste this formula and if you can, right, if you can just put it here. 1 second, here's my graph. It is Control X. Maybe just put it below this only. Sorry guys, I'm going little fast because in interest of time, I just wanted to cover this point with you. Just wanted to show a basic forecasting how we can do this, right? Now what I have is I have 159.22 log x minus this, right? What I'll do is I'll just try to convert this to a formula. And like x is any data point that you want to predict for, right? If I just want, I'll just remove this y. I'll try to put this cell here, right? I'll just put 2025. Here you can see population for 2025 is 8.19 billions as per the trend line that we have fitted here, right? And if assuming this curve for this our world population will follow the same curve, and I want to maybe predict the population for 2080, it will be 12 billion, right? So this is a very basic forecasting that we can easily do in Excel, right? What I did, I imported data from web. I plotted the data as a scatter plot. I tried to fit a curve in it. So I tried various combinations of lines that I tried to fit, right? So here you can see more options. Here you can see right? You can fit various curves. The curve I chose was linear, or maybe I can choose logarithmic. I think I chose logarithmic curve. I can go for a polynomial, whatever suits me best, right? Whatever based on data that we have, maybe we can choose different curves, right? We can do this power curve, moving average, right? So based on analysis and requirement, we can choose a different trend line that we can try to fit, and automatically Excel will give us the equation for this curve, and you can use this equation here to sort of forecast the population for future. Okay, and there's one more interesting tool that is inbuilt in Excel. I just want to show you for forecasting. Just want to show the capabilities of Excel, how advanced it is. Like if I just go here, I go to data, and this is the forecast sheet that I can directly click. So what this will do is it will put, like, this blue line shows I have data till 2025, but for coming years, what will be the population with upper bound and lower bound, right? So let me just show you. Forecast starts from 2025. Confidence level is 95%. It will detect automatically seasonality and all. It will detect and try to handle the curve, right? You can fill in missing values using interpolation, zeros, right? Averaging and all. If I just increase or decrease the confidence level, you can see the charts. If I just decrease it to 50, like you can see here, I have a trend line here with me, like very basic forecasting and very easy, just in 2 minutes. So based on data that you have, Excel will try to fit a curve, and it will try to give you forecasted numbers for coming years as well. I hope I was like making some sense for you. And I understand most of the people must be wondering why we still haven't taught you VLOOKUP function, right? Maybe we'll try to cover in some other magic formula VLOOKUP that everyone is hearing about, and everyone thinks this is the magic formula. So we'll try to cover in the next session. It's quite advanced compared to the whole scope of this session. Yeah, we are planning to launch a course with Wayspire, because see guys, problem with us with one digital stack is like we're facing a lot of trouble hiring right talent, and so it's very difficult for us to uh, uh, host in-house trainings. Like it consumes a lot of bandwidth for the trainer, which is our employee and the new folks that are joining, because we expect them to start working from day one. So yes, maybe.
So let me take the session from here, Vishuendra. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So, guys, how was the session? I hope everyone enjoyed it. They learned something up from this, right? Guys, at last, announcement that we made in the last workshop as well, that we had tied up with One Digital Star. And as Vishwinder said, that they find it difficult sometimes to hire right candidate for their companies.
Not
So
sometimes, Shal, every time.
yeah, that is understandable because people say that the market is not that good, but when the companies hire, they don't find the right candidates. I guess everyone is aware of that. So that is
Yeah.
basically of the skill gap that people have as per the company's requirement. So for that, we are launching a program for data analytics, which will be covering the Excel part from basics to advanced, and also the Power BI part. So these two, I guess, are the essential components of becoming a data analyst or any analyst going in any field, right, Vishwinder and Vishak?
Yeah, so just like
Yes.
like just for context setting, the syllabus or the topics that we covered here, not just maybe barely 2% of what Excel we are using every day, right?
Yeah,
So we didn't
because
cover we didn't cover VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, advanced functions, array functions, VBA, right? Uh, Advanced pivot tables. We didn't cover Power Query Editor. So it's very difficult to condense everything into a 2 hour workshop that's online, right? So
yes.
we were struggling, like Shah was struggling to cover this and uh, to
No
make the
issues for
live
that
session work.
only. We are starting our own offline batch. So it will be
Yeah.
a 1 month batch where we'll be having sessions on weekends. So we'll be covering around 30 to 40 hours of sessions with mentors from One Digital Stack who will be training the students and helping them to build their careers in the field of analytics. So now my operations team will share the attendance form, which is mandatory for the participants to get a participation certificate. And as I guess all of you are aware that Wayspire is an e-learning platform. So what we do is we help people build skills and make them industry ready. So for that, we have our online programs in more than 20 domains, covering technical domains and non-technical domains, as well as management backgrounds. So the forms are shared by the team in the chat. You guys can fill the attendance form and you can also apply for the online programs. Coming to the best part, as again, we have collaborated One Digital Stack. So the offline program will be taken by the mentors directly from One Digital Stack. They will be training you guys as per their requirements. So you are ready to not only secure a job in One Digital Stack or any other company. So there are many companies who hire for analysts all across India. So you can apply in any of them. But again, the important part is that the top 5 students of the offline batch, they will be getting direct placement interviews with One Digital Stack and they can be hired. So if you guys could just tell the students what is the average package that a fresher can earn and an experienced person can get.
So just to give some context, so if a guy from any background, not engineering, any background, I would say architect, HR, like BA, BSc, whatever they have done, doesn't matter to us. Like since if the person is good with data and has some sort of Excel Power BI skills, right? So that he can start contributing from day one and has good communication skills, will we are ready to hire, right? So like we are not looking for experience. I think not talking about just the One Digital Stack, but I think about the industry. Uh, like people say, people are looking for 5 years experience in a fresher. No, I think what people are exactly looking for are right kind of skills so that they can start contributing from day one, right? Because it's very difficult for a company to invest 1 or 2 months and then organize this offline training and all, right? So yes, so is the right sort of skills and the right background, I think it's very easy, and I think the starting salary ranges from 6 to 8 lakhs, and then after 2 years, it's very easy if you are good with data and if you are like if you understand what you're doing, you can easily go up to 15 16 lakhs LPA. Very like it's very I'm like I'm not making numbers. It's a very low end number that I'm talking about. I don't want to like uh, sell big dreams. It's a very normal industry average. So 6 to 8 is very entry level salary for a guy who understands Excel and Power BI. And like after 2 years, it's very easy for someone to get a job of about 15 to 20 LPA. Yeah, Vishak, maybe if you want to say something about it. So
Yes,
Vishak leads a team of 20 plus analysts in our company, and he has experience of 5 to 6 years, right? So maybe he has some good data points with him. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, Excel is very, very, very interesting thing, and these sessions, I wish I had gained the knowledge before I started my professional career. This is why, or maybe this initiative which Wayspire has taken, I really appreciate it. And along with the idea that which has popped up, and the advantage of getting direct interviews, guys. I mean, even government colleges, private colleges do not arrange this directly. So I feel it has loads and loads of professional, and you'll not just be learning Excel, but along with that, Power BI as well, which is Power BI is something first you need to learn Excel, so
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
can Power BI is a tool used for visualization. Uh, though it is somewhat similar, not exactly similar, but it has some functionality similar to Excel. Um, Also, for any these offline courses, you'll be getting practice worksheets as well, and one-on-one Q&A sessions for maybe an hour or so. So I feel it's a great opportunity, and anyone who is I guess Vishal can add the location for these offline sessions as well. So
Yeah,
anyone living
definitely.
near and around these areas should go ahead and grab this opportunity.
Yeah, guys. So the
I
offline
guess it
program
was
will be
a
conducted in
Mhm,
Gurugram. That is in Sector
mhm.
41. We have our headquarters in Gurugram. The mentors will be directly coming from One Digital Stack. Not just Vishwinder and Vishak, there are other members also from the team. The last session was conducted by Shivam. He's also one of the core members at One Digital Stack. So I wanted to ask a question to both of you guys. So let's suppose that I'm a working professional who is not from a tech background. Let's suppose I'm
Mm.
working in a marketing job or a data entry job. So if I want to switch into analytics, so how much time will it take for me to learn the right skills?
Barely 1.5 months, 1 month, like with some good practice, 2 months max. I
2
think
months max.
the beauty of
Yes.
Excel is you need not to be from tech background. Like you can be from any background and you can just learn Excel and you can. Because data analytics is all about storytelling, inciting, and presentation, right? So yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Vishwendra and
Just
Vishak, for
to
your time.
I'll
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
please,
to
please go
add
ahead.
to it, so that everyone first of all, great crowd, man. All of the participants had been very reactive and wonderful to, host this session. But just to give you an idea, in our company, we have a person who was actually from a very, very different background. She had done architecture as her professional degree, and then she joined in as BA, and she has now working with us for more than 2.5 years, and she's performing. I mean, she's one of the top
Exceptionally well.
contributors to the company, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
whatever you are currently doing, or even today, if you take one step towards your professional development, I mean, it can change your entire journey or your life process itself. So
Oh,
I mean, if you are open to it and you are willing to do it, please join these sessions, and all the best for your
Reach
future.
mode reload कर रहे
Sorry.
हैं.
yes, it's someone. No issues, no issues. We can continue.
That's all from my end. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, so thank you so much, guys. The forms have been shared. Kindly apply. Our team will connect with you, and the participation certificates will be released by Wednesday. So thank you so much for a wonderful session. Thank you, Vishwendra and Vishak, and to all the members who joined us for this amazing session. So
Yeah.
we'll be
Thank you
closing
everyone
now.
for your time. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you
Yeah.
so much, guys. Thank
I
you.
hope we didn't
Thank
waste your
you.
time. Like you got some fruitful out of it. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much. We are closing the session as of now.
It is a good learning, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for your feedback.
It was
The
very
form.
effective.
Great. Great. Good
Thank
to
you.
hear that.